Hi, recently I read this book, it's by Bear Grylls. It's an autobiography called Mud, Sweat and Tears. Apparently he's written 11 books. I have no idea what the other books are about, and I didn't watch his TV shows, to be honest, even though he's a really famous man, and I've heard of him. Most people have heard of Bear Grylls. It's quite famous, and so everyone's got sort of an idea of what they think about him in advance anyway. But to be honest, when I was reading the book, it wasn't important whether it was Bear Grylls' stories or someone else's. I'm never going to meet Bear Grylls, or at least it's really unlikely that I'll ever meet Bear Grylls. I don't know Bear Grylls personally, and most of these stories I can't prove happened, especially the ones in his early years, where they're completely undocumented. Really, there isn't a camera crew following him at that stage, so you know, they could have happened, they might not have happened. But when you're reading a book, you don't really think about that. You think you take what you want from it. You know, if you read a story and you like it, then you're going to learn, you're going to take things from it regardless of whether it's true or not. So I find the idea of arguing about whether or not his stories are true is a bit like missing the point, because when you read other books you don't do that really. And also most of his stories are about things that other people have done, even if he didn't. Someone did. Even if you don't believe that Bear Grylls specifically did those things, someone did these things, like climbing Everest. He climbed Everest at some point, and not loads of people, but you know, several other people have climbed Everest, and I have heard there's a mountain called Everest. It's entirely possible, so I wouldn't really argue about it. But you know, I feel like saying that because everyone who I've mentioned that I'm reading this book to has said something negative about it. You know, they said, oh, he doesn't really sleep out in the wild, he sleeps in a hotel, or oh, these feats aren't really that dangerous, he's just saying they're more dangerous than they are, or things like that. And I find that sort of entirely defeats the point. You know, I didn't read this book to find out more about Bear Grylls, this person that I don't know personally and I'm not going to meet really. It's not about my relationship with Bear Grylls. I read it because I wanted to read a book and I wanted to hear these stories of adventure. And you can either take things from books you read or not. You can take them as you want them. And if you want to focus on the fact that it's Bear Grylls, then that's what you want to focus on. But to be honest, there's a lot of other things in the book that I'd rather focus on. Just like the idea of adventure and doing these things and accomplishing these things, I find quite inspiring. I also find it quite good that he has friend groups and support groups that helped him along the way doing these things. I don't think I have such friend groups. I don't think I know anyone that would climb a hill with me, let alone a mountain. So I find it kind of something to build in. I think it makes me think about things, and that's quite good. It doesn't matter whether it's Bear Grylls or someone else, to be honest. I think it's nice to be thinking about these things. The book itself is 470 odd pages and a lot of chapters, but it's really well written. It's like each chapter is less than 4 sides, and so it's really easy to read. I could read loads of chapters in one go because it just felt like such easy reading. It was like lots of short stories. I guess it was written in the way that you would tell someone. If you were sitting down and telling someone a story, you wouldn't tell them pages and pages and pages and pages of stuff. You know, you wouldn't be rambling on for 20 pages or something, but most books are written in a way that you wouldn't normally talk to someone. Whereas I guess that this book was more written like, you know, like someone's sharing a story with you, and that was kind of nice. As I say, I'm not quite sure why he's written 11 books or something, because I've no idea what else he's written about. I've not read them. Another thing I liked about this book was all the little pictures. There's 3 sections of pictures, and I found the quick pictures quite nice. I'll show you a picture that I found was really good. It was when he was in Everest and he was walking across like a big hole in Everest over a little ladder, and I find that really inspiring and really heroic and stuff, and I find it quite dangerous. And to be honest, I don't know whether or not I would be able to walk across a little ladder over a very big hole. I mentioned that to someone and they just said, well, that's just general practice on Everest. It's just what happens. And I thought, no, it's not just what happens. It's not just ordinary, everyday stuff. It's not... Climbing Everest isn't something everyone does. It is remarkable. You know, it is a feat of human strength and willing and going into nature, and not everyone survives on Everest and stuff like that. You know, it's just hard to believe that people throw away the stories that are written by Bear Grylls just because it's Bear Grylls. I find that hard. But yeah, that's okay. Another thing I liked about the book was that he's religious, but he doesn't claim it's the only way and the right way or anything. It's just explaining that that's how he lives his life. You know, he is a religious man, and that's just laying out how he lives his life. I learned a couple of things about Bear Grylls in this book that I didn't know. I mean, obviously I haven't watched his shows or read his other books, so it was obvious I was going to learn some things I didn't know about him, because I didn't really know loads about him. Such as his name not being Bear in reality, and his stance on virginity was really interesting. I found quite a lot of the book really interesting and gripping and really easy to read, and I find that if a book is inspiring, that's what you should take from it. One thing I didn't like though about Bear Grylls' book was the times he used things that were too overused, like sentences like, "What doesn't kill me makes me stronger," and things like that. It's such a cliche, you know, stuff. Inspirational lines you've heard over and over and over again just seem to not be personal anymore, and then they weren't so inspirational, it just sort of washes over you.